Alrighty, everyone. Good morning, and how are you all today? Welcome to the PreStream podcast. I am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to Final Fantasy Land. How are you this morning? Enjoy the new template. Good new setup for the PreStream. Nice and fresh for you. Actually matches the PS5 box pretty much perfectly, doesn't it? Huh. So welcome, everyone. Today is Thursday, March 17th, 2022. Today I bring you tidings of great joy. No, it's not Christmas. I actually know my schedule for the next couple of weeks. Oh my God! It's like a revolutionary thing that I can finally tell you what I'm able to do for streaming for the next couple of weeks. Isn't that cool? But I have the information. I got the deets. And I know you guys want the deets. So I'll give you the deets. It didn't sound right for some odd reason. But anyway, it's going to be a fun pre-stream podcast today. Not only do I have the deets, but in addition, I have some interesting gaming news this morning. A pretty interesting story for those of you who, like myself, are horror gaming buffs. We love horror games. We enjoy playing them, talking about them, sometimes doing second runs of them. And we got some really interesting news this morning regarding Supermassive Games. It was a giant announcement that came overnight out of nowhere. No one even knew that this was happening or even in production. And we'll talk a little bit about that here on the PreStream podcast. It's the big news story for today. Outside of that, there's not really much else going on. Excuse me. So, welcome. How's everyone? By the way, it is a lovely, cloudy/rainy day here in Washington, i.e., a perfect streaming day. I know that sounds weird. I feel like the best days for video games are days when it is cool, cloudy, and rainy outside. And there's two major reasons why I feel that way. The first is because if it's cool, cloudy, and rainy outside, you're not missing anything if you're sitting indoors playing video games all day, right? No one wants to be out in the wet rain, right? It's those sunny days that we're like, man, I wish I was outside doing fun stuff. So it's good when it's a rainy day, like, I'll enjoy gaming today, right? But for me personally, with the way that my setup is for streaming, these days are actually the coolest, nicest, most comfortable day for me. And you might say, well, Phil, don't you have air conditioning? Why is it a big deal what the weather is outside? Well, I do. The air conditioner is sitting right there, but I prefer not to run it for half the year. You know what I'm saying? Like when the rest of my house has heat on, I prefer not to have the air conditioner blasting in my office, even though it would make sense. There's enough equipment in this office between the multiple consoles, the television, the laptop, the PC, the multiple monitors over there, the controller, the lamp that heats up when I turn it on. You know, amongst all these things, a ton of electronics running. And it makes sense that this office heats up and gets stuffy and needs air conditioning likely all the time. You compare that to like a computer lab at school or at a university or anywhere where there's a bunch of computers in one confined room, you should have air conditioning on all the time, even in the winter. It just makes sense. But I don't operate a ginormous business here, and I like to cut down on expenses during the fall and winter when I don't need air conditioning for the rest of my house. I turn the air conditioner off effectively in the early fall, and I don't turn it on again until the early spring. So, honestly, right around the corner, it's now, mid-March, probably within another month to maybe month and a half if I can stretch it out, I'll be able to enjoy the cooler air outside and leave the window open, leave the fan on here as I stream. But likely what'll happen is it'll start to get warmer and warmer, and then eventually I am going to have to start using the air conditioner again. See, when I use the air conditioner, it's fine, but you guys definitely can hear it in the background, and then it kind of becomes an ambient thing that's not a big deal because it's always heard in the background of the streams. But definitely it's better air quality wise to have the window open, to have it blowing in fresh, as opposed to just having an air conditioner pumping air out, you know what I'm saying, through a filtration system. Anyway, that being said, I like cloudy days because it's cooler in my office, and on a day that's full of sun outside, what happens is in the mid-afternoon, say around roughly 12 p.m. to like maybe 3:30 to 4 p.m., which is the prime time when I'm here streaming, the sun beats on this office wall. And what happens is this side of the house heats up by about 15 plus degrees on the inside. It almost feels like you're in a clay oven. sitting inside of this office. So that's why I need to have the window open, the fan blowing, etc., etc., if I don't have the air conditioner on. So, when it's a nice, cool, relaxing, cloudy day like today, I can enjoy fresh air and don't have to worry about that happening, and it allows me to have a much more comfortable time streaming. You know, there's some days I tell you guys, oh, if we hit our goals, you know, on the stream for fundraising, well, now I can't wear the heavy vest today because it's too hot, right? Today's not a day. It's an exception where I could do whatever I want because it's nice and cool outside, and I really enjoy doing that. Nice refreshing seltzer. That's good. Good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us now actually do a schedule update segment, because I can tell you my schedule because I actually know what days I have off for the next couple of days, which is thrilling. Okay. So here's the deal. Today, continuing on with what else? Elden Ring. Elden Ring is going to be insanely long, like ridiculously long. I'm about 50 hours, just under 50 hours into the game right now, and I'm not even halfway through it yet from all reports. It's pretty crazy, right? And it's rare when I tackle a game this long that's this action-based. What I mean by that is I've tackled long games before. Take a look at my original Skyrim playthrough, my new Skyrim playthrough, Fallout New Vegas from last year, which was more of a completionist run, my Persona 5 playthrough from many years ago. These are all, you know, playthroughs that clock in around anywhere from 60 to 100 hours of gameplay. I'm just about halfway there, and like I said, we're not halfway through the game, so damn. I really get the feeling that this is going to be one of the longest playthroughs I've ever done, if not, by the end of things, may actually be the longest playthrough I've ever done. That would be impressive if Elden Ring outclocks Persona 5. Damn. I guess we're going to find out, all right? So, listen, I'm okay playing Elden Ring every day. The good news here is, for those of you who are kind of feeling a little bit of Elden Ring burnout, maybe you're getting tired of the game, you're like, man, I wish Phil would do something different. First of all, just so you know, I can't. If I stop playing Elden Ring as much as I am right now, I'm not going to finish it anytime soon. So it makes sense for me to keep playing it the way I've been playing it and balancing this with other things on my late night streams, okay? But there is a silver lining. Next week, a week from tomorrow, there are multiple new releases. There are. So my goal, essentially for the next week before those new releases come out, is to possibly get as far as I can in Horizon Forbidden West and maybe beat it, okay? From what I'm to understand, I am in the final third of the game story-wise, and yes, there will be some side content and stuff that will open up, but if I just focus on the story of the game, within a few streams I may beat it, which would be good, because that would open up another late-night stream for me to start up another game, which I already know what that game is going to be, and then we can alternate on day streams between Elden Ring and the next upcoming new release, okay? So let's talk about that. Today, it'll be Elden Ring Caelid Exploration. Yesterday, I arrived in Caelid, started exploring the roads, fought a Erd Tree avatar that was much more difficult than the previous ones, went to a tower, which I guess I really wasn't supposed to be in yet, because I couldn't really do anything in there, and I'm at a boss now that literally one-shots me every time that it hits me, so there's no chance of me beating it. I'm going to go do further exploration today, heading further south. I think there's one building off to the east that I definitely want to check out. And then as I head further south, there may be another resource cave of crafting materials to check out. And then there's other stuff. Of course, I can go back to that poison lake that I went to earlier. There's a whole magical village next to it that I never fully explored. So we can check that out. There's just a lot to do in Caelid. So today will be fun, even though it's going to be more challenging. It should be a good stream of Elden Ring, and I hope you guys will chill with me and enjoy it. Later tonight, it will be Horizon Forbidden West on the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. 2 hours of story-based progress. We're in San Francisco and just about to head into a major story segment, so that should be fun and chill, okay? Okay, tomorrow, more Elden Ring on the main stream, more Caelid exploration, okay? I don't know how long Caelid is, but every segment or every location in the game seems to have a lot of content. So I seriously doubt that Caelid would be any different. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be just as complicated, just as involved. And so we should keep exploring and checking it out for the next few days. Tomorrow night, my weekly session of old school Street Fighter, also called Friday Night Fights, where I play the oldies in the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Now, admittedly, this collection is dated. It's almost 4 years old at this point. I think it came out May 2018, and there's already a new collection on the way this June. So, this is kind of like the final countdown for playing it, and this week I'm actually going to play the Xbox version. Last week we played the PlayStation version and had some issues, so we're going to try with the Xbox version this week and see where that goes, okay? Then, on Saturday and Sunday, here's the deal. We're going to reassess how we're doing in Elden Ring. If people are still enjoying the stream, still attending them, still engaging them, still supporting them, and are okay with more, then I can easily play Elden Ring as the major stream both on Saturday and Sunday, and I'd be okay with that. But there may be potential that maybe people will start to feel a little bit of burnout, including me, and want something different. And if that's the case, then what I will do is flip the streams for a day, and we'll actually do Skyrim Anniversary Edition as the daytime stream. And then the night stream would be Elden Ring for that day, okay? So we'll see. It all depends on how things go over the next couple of days and how you guys feel and how I feel. We have that potential. So one day it'll be a combination of Elden Ring and Skyrim, and the other day will be a combination of Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West, okay? And by the way, that's my streaming week. Monday will be my day off this coming week. So that means there's 4 more days of streaming, including today. This will be a 5-day streaming week, okay? I'm off on Monday. Excuse me. When I return on Tuesday, yes, more Elden Ring, likely paired with either Horizon or Skyrim. On Wednesday, yes, more Elden Ring. You see, it's going to be the same thing. Now, Friday is a double new release day. And because of that, what I will likely do this coming week, I will push Street Fighter. Well, actually, I will pull it. I will actually do Street Fighter Friday Night Fights on Thursday night, likely. So that way I could still get my weekly dose of Street Fighter, even though it'll be a different day. Okay? Why? Because Friday, that's 1 week from tomorrow, that'll be March 25th, is a double new release day. We've got Ghostwire Tokyo, and we've got Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Okay? Now, my hope is that if I play Horizon tonight, I play Horizon again over the weekend as a late stream. That's 4 hours. And then I play Horizon 2 more times during next week. That's another 4 hours. That'll be 8 more hours of gameplay. That if I'm focusing on the story, will beat the game. I think we're in the end game. Like, we've got San Francisco, and then there's like 1 or 2, I think, major story developments, and that's the conclusion, okay? That would be perfect if I can conclude Horizon right before the new releases hit on the 25th, because now what that would mean is that the daytime streams are going to be Ghostwire Tokyo, alternated with Elden Ring, back and forth for variety, and then the late streams will be alternation between Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Skyrim with some Street Fighter thrown in there, okay? I think that's a good mix. I think that makes sense, and I think that would be fun for variety purposes, and after having mostly played Elden Ring for the last 2 weeks, yeah, it'll be good for my sanity to not be playing Elden Ring every single stream. Admittedly, it means that the Elden Ring playthrough will take longer to finish, but I'm okay with that. And I think that you guys would be okay with that, too. At that point, you guys are going to want more variety, too, you know? Okay, cool. Now, next week, not this week coming, where there's 4 more streaming days, including today. Next week will be a 7-day streaming week. 7 straight days of cool gameplay content for you guys here on the streams before I have another day off, which would be that following Tuesday, the 29th of March. And then when I come back from that, okay, then it's going to be basically my birthday festivities week, where you're going to see decorations in the office. I may have something special planned for my birthday. It actually specifically depends around my schedule and my wife's work schedule, which I believe we have now. So since we have it now, I can start to plan. I couldn't until today. I basically couldn't plan, and now it looks like I can. So I will let you know as we get closer to my birthday on April 6th, more about what we're planning on doing. Possibly there'll be like a special event that day, or maybe like the day before leading up to it, okay? Maybe a marathon or something. I don't know. I got to think about it. Oh, one other thing, and I've already kind of clued you guys in on this, so I just want to forewarn you that it's going to happen, okay? Basically, at the very end of this month, all right, I'm going to have to take a few nights off from streaming. Not the whole day, but like the late streams, And likely the game that's going to take a hit because of this will be Skyrim. I just want to forewarn you guys. I know you guys are really enjoying the Skyrim playthrough. I've been doing it since December. It's one of the best ongoing chill playthroughs I'm doing. At this point, we're over 60 hours in, and we're like halfway through the game, if that. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm really enjoying the Skyrim stuff. But I need to take time to do my taxes, and I have not taken any time to do them this year. I've been nonstop streaming for the past 2 months because it's been so crazy with the new releases. And look, I'm so behind. I didn't play WWE. I didn't play Stranger of Paradise. I'm behind on games, right? And I'm streaming nonstop, taking no time off, okay? I have to do these taxes. I have to. So likely at the very tail end of this month, like that last week of March, there will be a couple nights, maybe 2 nights, maybe more, it depends, where I have to not stream and I have to sit down and work on my tax stuff, okay? So just so you guys know, no, this will not, I'm not going to be talking about that shit in detail on my streams or anything like that. But yeah, it will take away from the streams, and there's not much that I can do about that, okay? It's just inevitability of life. When you operate your own business, you got to do your taxes, So, I apologize in advance. There will be missed streams. It sucks. I want to be here to play the games. You want to be here to watch. But I can't. At this time of year, I have to take some time away to do this stuff. Okay? So, there you have it. That's roughly the schedule you can expect for the rest of the month. This week, focus on Elden Ring with Horizon and Skyrim and Street Fighter at night, trying to finish Horizon basically in the next week. Next week, Elden Ring until the new releases hit on the 29th, which will be Ghostwire Tokyo and Kirby, and then those will be added into the rotation. It'll be a mix between all those games for the first week of April until maybe there's a special event for my birthday celebration. You'll see nice decorations and festivities here that first week of April. Okay? Sound like a plan? I know. I actually got to outline my schedule in detail. Cool. I like doing that. Like I said, I'm an analytical person. I'm a person who likes to plot out things for the future. I don't like just willy-nilly doing stuff. There's plenty of content creators and streamers out there who like every day, like, I don't know what I'll do today. We'll just stream whatever. We'll figure it out. I'm bored. I'll change games. We'll do this. I don't do that. I'm very plotted. I'm very laid out. So that way you know exactly what's going on when. And I know that there's people out there that appreciate that I do that because then they can attend the specific streams and events that they want to see when there's a lot that they don't want to see. Right now, there's people who absolutely don't care about Elden Ring, so they show up to my late streams. You see, and they appreciate that I laid it out, that there's that variety of streaming that I do and that I plot it out that way so you know when to expect it. And I'm fine with that. I've always been that kind of a person. I've been the kind of person who plots everything out, and I was always the guy who planned every trip to Street Fighter tournaments and did this and did that, So for me, it just follows through the rest of my life that I'm the guy who is going to be laying stuff out so you have that big perspective on what Phil's doing this week, 2 weeks, a month out. Okay? Okay. Good stuff. Before we get to the gaming news segment of today's PreStream podcast, I would just like to say thank you again for the continued engagement on all of my content. All right? As we are heading into now, essentially, what is like week 3/week 4. Yes, I'm actually that far into Elden Ring. If you remember, Elden Ring actually premiered the last week of February. So we're heading into the 3rd week now of March. And when you're doing that, you realize, oh, wow, this game's been out, 3 weeks to a month already? Yeah. Most people would have already beaten any other game. But most people playing Elden Ring have not beaten it. So, yeah, I'm excited for more, but I want to say thank you for the ongoing attention and engagement and support of the streams. Why? Because any other game that I play for 3 weeks, most of the interest has fallen off, and people start to get bored. That has not happened with Elden Ring. Consistently, the attendance is good. Consistently, the support is good. Consistently, the engagement is good. And that is actually, out of all 3 things that I just mentioned, engagement is the more important thing about everything going on right now. Because this last month since Elden Ring came out, increased views, increased likes, increased, what do they call it? Watch time, increased CTR, or whatever the fuck their statistic is. Everything is increased, okay? Everything. And that's a great thing. That means that the channel's doing healthy. It's doing better, and it's, increased because of this particular game. Of course, right? We expected that. But is there some drop-off? Yes, there is. Absolutely. What I'm noticing is that every day on the streams, maybe slightly less views. Like originally when I was playing this game, every day we were getting between, say, 400 to 500 viewers constantly, if not more. Of course, when I started, it was like, what, 1,000? And then it dropped off, right? Now we're getting roughly around 400 viewers the entire stream. When I go on break and I come back, I lose a bunch, but then I get them back. Still great. Still consistently good viewership for a game that I've been playing for 3 weeks. Likes are great. You guys are liking the hell out of the streams. Yesterday, I don't even think I mentioned liking the stream, and we had over 200 likes on the Elden Ring stream. I couldn't ask for anything more. That's exactly the attitude that I hope people would have with my content. Wow, this is fun. This is entertaining. I'm just going to like it because I know that it helps Phil, and I want to share that positivity. I don't even have to mention it. That's cool. That's really cool, okay? Now, in regards to the on-demand videos, yes, there was an absolute direct increase in viewerships, engagement, and everything around the on-demand videos, especially for Elden Ring. Okay, absolutely. Thank you to those of you who are watching the Elden Ring playthrough, because what I noticed when there's a playthrough that's popular like this, what ends up happening is initially everyone watches the first few videos, and then all of a sudden it kind of drops off huge, but then you notice the slow crawl of views that continues with the rest of the playthrough as people slowly and gradually start watching the rest of the videos, okay? So, especially with a game like Elden Ring that's so lengthy, and there's so many of my viewing audience that are playing it and likely will catch up with my playthrough once they've gotten past those parts themselves playing it, I expect that a playthrough like this will have what's called residual views, meaning, yes, initially you get that surge of attention and then it drops off, but then over time, people continue to watch that event, that playthrough, that whatever it may be, and it helps the channel overall. It's aggregate views. It adds up, okay? I'm definitely seeing that with Elden Ring, although I am noticing the new videos that I upload on a daily basis, 3 hours a day, are getting way less views. Reason being, most people haven't watched 40 plus hours of Elden Ring yet on my channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there will be people who will watch it all when they get a chance. How many people have 40 hours to just sit around, right? So I understand, and that's always going to happen. It will. It's always going to happen, where you're going to have a long playthrough, and when you get to a certain point in that playthrough, you're going to see a drop-off in interest, and there's no way that you can control that, and there's no reason to panic about it either. I've been there, done this many years. I know exactly how it works, and I'm not too worried about that, okay? What I'm looking at is daily. I look at the stats on DSPGaming, and it's doing good, okay? Now, admittedly, excuse me, what I will say, I can't stop burping today, this seltzer. What I will say is thus: the other playthroughs on DSPGaming, that's Horizon Forbidden West, Skyrim Anniversary Edition, and Street Fighter right now, okay? They ain't doing so good. They definitely have seen a drop in attention, a drop in interest, and a drop in engagement. There's nothing I can really do about that. Those are considered the chill playthroughs. They're more of nighttime time fillers and interactive streams. They're not necessarily hot narrative games that everyone, like, for example, Skyrim. People will watch that over time, but you're not going to have people dashing to watch hour 67 of a Skyrim playthrough. You know what I'm saying? So, I get it, okay? Horizon, yeah, Horizon is disheartening. Horizon is a really good game that completely was destroyed by Elden Ring. It was insanely bad release timing. I don't think anyone expected Elden Ring to be as popular as it is, which is both a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because, damn, the game is great. Everyone's talking about it, and it's really great content. But anyone who wanted to talk about another game basically got brushed under the rug, right? And that's exactly what happened with Horizon. The first week I played it, people were interested, and as soon as Elden Ring came out, so here I am, nearly a month after the release of Horizon, and no one's asking for it. Seriously, like, no one even, like, oh, you're still playing that shit? Finish it up. I'm like, damn, that's what an attitude, especially for a game that actually is quite good. So, I'm not surprised that the other playthroughs that I'm doing right now aren't very popular. However, we may see a change next week, right? A change next week with both Ghostwire Tokyo and Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Both games are very different, good variety, and both are new releases, so maybe within about a week, we will actually see a new influx and a surge of people interested in other games other than Elden Ring. Excuse me. which is why I definitely like being a variety streamer, just being honest. Imagine if I was only playing Elden Ring. Imagine if I was someone who was so beholden to hype, who was so beholden that I must play the hot game whenever it comes out. Every time a new viral game came out, all I would be doing is playing that game. I would have probably already beaten Elden Ring and been in my second or third run already and played absolutely nothing else. Every other playthrough I'm doing would have been completely put on hiatus, and anyone who wanted those playthroughs would have been left high and dry, right? But that also means that whenever a new hot game, a viral game hits, you gotta play it. Among Us? I gotta play that nonstop for like 2 fucking months because it's the hot new game, right? The next Battle Royale game or whatever it is, whatever the next stupid trend is, I would have to be on top of all of those. And I'm actually happy I don't have to do that. I get to play the games I like, you know? Because I'm a variety streamer, I can do that. And because you guys support me in my effort to be a variety streamer, all right? You will allow me to play what I want to play, to enjoy what I'm playing, and to have better content. Because admittedly, I'll tell you this. When Elden Ring came out 3 weeks ago, all I did was play Elden Ring, like so many people. Like people say, oh, well, PewDiePie beat Elden Ring. Maximilian Dude beat Elden Ring. Yeah, they played it nonstop. They didn't stop. They literally just fucking played the fuck out of the game. I would be so burnt out if all I played was the same game all day, every day, till I had to beat it. You know what I mean? There's some content creators, no exaggeration. When a new FromSoft game comes out, they beat it in 2 days. They don't stop playing it. They literally just keep playing it till they beat it. Like, what? Like, to me, that, like, blows my mind. Like, are you out of your mind? How can you enjoy what you're doing when you literally make it a grindy marathon? Like, you can't even absorb what you're doing. It's just, get through it. Gotta get through it. Bullets of sweat. Gotta get through it, man. I gotta make the paycheck, man. No, fuck that. I want to play and enjoy what I'm doing, right? You know what I'm saying? And you need time to unplug. And this goes for everything. I used to be a competitive Street Fighter player, okay? And there were definitely times for me where it was like, okay, I absolutely dedicated myself to Street Fighter for weeks on end, traveling, playing, practicing. And then I would get what's called burnout. And as much as I played or practiced, I would, number one, actually play worse because I was doing it too much. It was called overkill. And I would stop having fun doing it. There were actually several times in my career as a competitive Street Fighter player, where I purposely unplugged myself from Street Fighter for a few weeks. I would literally disappear from the scene. And people would say, what happened to DSP? I don't know. Maybe he's on a break. And then I would come back refreshed, feeling like I was craving it again and wanting to jump back in. And surprisingly enough, coming back from those breaks, I would actually do better in competitive Street Fighter than I would beforehand when I was practicing nonstop. Because I basically got a chance to de-stress myself, unplug myself, unwind, and then come back with a fresh mindset of, I want to jump back in feet first. You see? When you literally just sit here playing the same shit nonstop, endlessly for 2 weeks, so you can rush through and beat it and make maximum money, you kind of missed the point of gaming. And no, I mean it. You kind of missed the point. There was no speed run for Elden Ring. There's no competition. There's no contest. No one won the $1 million jackpot because they rushed through Elden Ring and beat it within a week, okay? I'm happy that I'm playing it as much as I am, but I'm also happy that I'm not just playing Elden Ring only, nonstop, and never gave up, because I would probably hate the fucking game right now. Being honest, I would. I would probably, absolutely just be tired of it. And I know for a fact that there are people out there who don't want to see me play Elden Ring constantly, or you just don't care about Elden Ring at all, and you're happy that I'm a variety streamer doing other stuff. Now, admittedly, I've been playing Horizon for a month, right? I've been playing Skyrim since December. I've been playing Street Fighter forever. So I know you guys are craving something new. I'm happy that next week I can give you that something new with 2 new releases that will add variety to the streams. And I also want to say, please, guys, understand why I couldn't play WWE, why I'm not playing Stranger of Paradise, and thank you for not then coming onto the streams and constantly complaining about it. Thank you for that, because I know that at times in my history people have done that. Like, oh my god, back in the day on YouTube, it was so hilarious. I'd be playing a game and having a good time with it, and then you'd read the comments, and there would be a game out that everyone, for some odd reason, wanted to see me play, and they would leave comments like, Phil, you're going to play Ninja Blade? Hey, Phil, did you hear about that new release of Ninja Blade? Phil, where's Ninja Blade? What about Ninja Blade? Hey, Ninja Blade came out. Phil, Ninja Blade is playable now. Will you get it? Ninja Blade? Ninja Blade. Hey, how about you drop this game and play Ninja Blade? Ninja Blade, Ninja Blade, Ninja Blade, Ninja Blade, Ninja fucking Blade. Ninja Blade. And it got ridiculous to the point where it's like, okay, I get it. There's a new game out called Ninja Blade. I don't even fucking know what it is. I'm playing these other games. Can you, like, leave me alone? And maybe I'll look at it later. And when people used to behave like that, okay, when people used to do that, it would actually turn me off from wanting to play whatever game people were recommending or suggesting, because it wasn't a recommendation or a suggestion. It basically became systematic harassment that people would everywhere I looked, Ninja Blade, Ninja Blade, Ninja Blade. That was one of the examples that literally 10 years later stands out in my mind as a game that people really wanted to see me play, and I didn't. I skipped it. Refreshing. So, thanks for that. Thanks for understanding. I promise you I will eventually get to WWE. We will get to that. Strangers of Paradise, I don't know. It definitely doesn't look very good, and most people playing it are saying it's mediocre at best, so I think it's probably a better skip than anything. But with WWE, that is one that, like, I know I have a fan base there for it. People want to see me play it. They're upset I'm not, and I will absolutely get to it when it makes sense, likely sometime in April when the releases are definitely going to slow down. Okay? Okay. All right. So thanks. It's gaming news time, my friends. We got a big news story today. Are you ready for this one? So, the big gaming news this morning is that Supermassive Games, that's the makers of Until Dawn and most recently, the Dark Pictures Anthology horror game series. Games such as Man of Medan, Little Hope, and most recently, House of Ashes, are now making a new game that's done. Yeah, it's actually done. They finished it. No one even knew it was being made, which is kind of cool that they kept it under wraps. For those of you who are big horror game fans, like me, whenever there's a horror game announcement that's notable by a company that's larger and has good production values and or is a company that's, well regarded, it's obviously a very positive thing. I'm very happy about this news. Okay, and the cool thing about this one is this game is being essentially advertised as the spiritual successor to Until Dawn. Now, who here remembers Until Dawn? If you remember Until Dawn, and if you remember my playthrough of Until Dawn, okay, raise your hand right now. Right? Raise it up. You remember Until Dawn? Who remembers? And why remembers that playthrough, right? Well, I can't see your hands through the internet. All right, I don't know why you lifted your hand up. That's ridiculous. But anyway, Until Dawn was actually one of the more modernized playthroughs that I did that actually got a lot of traction on YouTube. This was before the YouTube adpocalypse. This was before I became a full-time streamer. Okay? This was way before. This was, 2015, I want to say it was. And I remember when I played and streamed that game, it felt like something special because it felt like I was commentating over a horror movie. And people absolutely loved my style of commentary over that type of game. In addition, being that it is a choose-your-own-adventure style game where your choices did actually directly affect what happened to the characters in the game, whether they lived or died, how they lived or died, how long they lived before they died, or if they never died at all and got to the ending, right? That was a really cool thing about that game, and everyone who plays that game plays it a little differently. And that was the cool thing about Until Dawn. And Until Dawn did really well for me. Like, it blew up in popularity. People were watching it for quite a while and rewatching it, saying it was one of their favorite playthroughs they had ever seen me done at the time. And it just led to me doing more narrative-based content like that. People were like, wow, that's really your forte. Games like Heavy Rain or the other David Cage games, and now these new horror series, you're doing really good with them, and we want to see you do more of them. Now, unfortunately, what ended up happening, if you guys remember, is that there was narrative game burnout. when Telltale Games literally was releasing 3, 4, 5 narrative-based games a year, and then you had the Life is Strange series, and then you had horror games and everything. Basically, it was a massive overload of narrative-based games to the point where there was actually a crash, and then people didn't care about them anymore. Which is pretty crazy, because it went from like, wow, super popular to overnight. However, when the Dark Pictures anthology started a few years ago, people were questioning, will these games be good and will they be popular? And the answer resoundingly is, yeah, they actually have done really well for themselves, sales-wise, popularity-wise. And yeah, you don't hear about them that long because they're not very long. These games, on average, are anywhere from 5 to 10 hours long. Of course, they lend themselves to second-run playthroughs to see, oh, what if I had chosen this instead of this? Can I keep this character alive who accidentally died at this point in the first playthrough, etc., etc.? And so, there are different kinds of games. There are games that you will see everyone be talking about for 1 week and then never mention ever again. But that's the nature of the beast when you make this kind of game. This isn't Elden Ring, right? Where everyone's talking about the 100 hours of content in your game. It's you play through it once, cool. Play through it a second time, oh cool, better ending, and then you're done with it. So, the reason I'm giving all this background is because, yes, here it is, announced this morning. The next game from Supermassive Games is called The Quarry, all right? They've directly said this is in line, it's the spiritual successor to Until Dawn, okay? It stars a very unique cast, meaning most of the people in this game are actually real actors from television and or movies, all right? Let's go through the casting, and you guys will likely recognize a lot of these names, okay? Hold on. Here it is. So, Ariel Winter from Modern Family and Speed Racer. Ethan Suplee from The Wolf of Wall Street, Remember the Titans, and My Name is Earl. David Arquette from the Scream franchise, Eight-Legged Freaks, and of course, my personal favorite, Ready to Rumble from the 1990s, the pro wrestling WCW movie. Lynn Shay from the Insidious franchise, The Grudge, and Ouija. That's the creepy old woman over there that you see on the left-hand side. She's literally in every horror movie, and she's in this game now, too. So prepare to shit yourself. Miles Robbins from Halloween 2018 and Blockers. Grace Zabriskie from Armageddon, Wild at Heart, and The Grudge. Halston Sage from Neighbors, X-Men, Dark Phoenix, and Paper Towns. Jesus, X-Men Dark Phoenix. I think X-Men Dark Phoenix is the scariest reference in this list. Zach Tinker from 13 Reasons Why, Law and Order True Crime. Lance Henriksen. Yes, Bishop himself from the Aliens franchise. Good lord. Brenda Song from Dollface, The Social Network, and New Girl. I don't know who that is. I was trying to remember. Siobhan Williams from Forsaken and Heartland. Skylar Gisondo from The Social Dilemma and Santa Clarita Diet. Evan Evagoria from Star Trek Picard and Home and Away. I've never heard of half this shit. Justice Smith from Detective Pikachu and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Justice Smith, isn't that Will Smith's kid? Right? I think so. And Ted Raimi from Evil Dead, Spider-Man, Xena Warrior Princess. Okay? So, a lot of good, notable actors and actresses that you know, and honestly, for me, a mix of people I never heard of before, or maybe I will recognize them when I actually, play the game, but admittedly, a lot of these are going to feel more like newcomers, and I think that's a good thing, to have a mix in your cast. I think it's going to be really cool to have, like, David Arquette, and like I said, the woman from the horror movies in it. And then at the same time, you're going to have people who are like, kind of the cast of Survivors or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, what they're saying is this is going to be similar to Until Dawn. A group of teenagers who are together, thrown into a situation they never expected, a survival situation, and there's some kind of a killer or a supernatural element, we're not sure yet, that they're going to be tossed into, and they have to survive. And it's up to you to make the right choices, and if you make the right choices, they live, and if you make the wrong choices, they die. They're saying that the gameplay, if you fuck up completely and kill off everyone, the game is around 7 hours long. If you do really well, and you are able to keep most of, if not all of them alive, the game's about 10 hours long. But again, much like all the games that Supermassive game puts out, the game lends itself to multiple playthroughs so that you can see the different scenarios pan out. You can see what happens if this person survives and this person dies, etc. Okay? The game is coming out in June. It does not have a set release date yet, but supposedly it's releasing this June, which is different because usually these games have released, especially the Dark Pictures Anthology series, has always released in the fall around October. So for the fact that this is actually releasing much earlier is interesting. And it almost seems to me like June might actually be a pretty busy month for games. Why? We already have the Street Fighter collection. Now we have this. And I think what's going to happen is over the next, excuse me, I can't stop burping. Over the next 1 to 2 weeks, if not months, we're going to start seeing a lot of the digital press events for games. Hell, we're getting one today. We're getting one today on Hogwarts Legacy, right? The Hogwarts video game. So we're going to start seeing a lot of these digital events, and the more that we see, we're going to get release dates. And I almost guarantee you, this year we may see some summertime releases like June, July. Why? COVID screwed everything up. COVID royally screwed up the game production schedule for most companies, which is why 2 years ago we had Ghost of Tsushima come out in the summer, which is why we just had the busiest gaming February and March like in history. We've never had this many new releases of this high profile this early in the year before, and this year just like exploded because COVID had delayed everything so much, okay? So, this is cool news. I'm excited for this, actually, being such a big fan of horror games. And, you know, I'm very excited to see how this pans out. Now, the thing is, Supermassive Games is doing really well. For those who don't know, let me get rid of this. I have room to fit on my own camera now. Supermassive Games is doing really well. The Dark Pictures Anthology was a gamble for them. They had not made a major game in a few years. The last few games that they had made, like one of them was a VR spin-off of Until Dawn. Then they made the Until Dawn PlayStation VR game as well. So there were 2 VR games that they made. And then they had a kind of a throwaway game. It was that game about a detectives looking for a killer. And I played it, but it was very, very short. So, it was uncertain when they came out with this Dark Pictures Anthology how it was going to do. And admittedly, Man of Medan wasn't as good of an outing as I had hoped it would be. But the games have gotten better every year, you know, like Little Hope and House of Ashes were both really good games. We got another one coming out this year that looks like it's very Saw-esque in its plot lines. And Saw does really well. Let's face it, they made 700 of those movies, so I'm sure that if they make a game series like that, it might be popular too. So they've done really well. They've actually exceeded their sales expectations, which is now allowing them to branch out and do more content. I'm totally cool with that. As a fan of cinema, as a fan of horror movies, and now having that kind of crossover with my love of video games has worked out really well. I love doing their Dark Pictures Anthology games every year, and to have another kind of game into the mix makes me feel pretty cool about it. Like, I'm excited. I am. So if someone says that it does have a set release date, it's June 10th. And I'm glad that you said that. I'm going to put that into my release schedule right now. Now, wait a minute. Oh, that's terrible. Guys, I have very bad news. Okay, you ready for this? Sadly, there's already another game coming out that day. Okay? And we all know that's definitely going to cut into the market share. Mario Strikers Battle League comes out June 10th too. And those are definitely audiences that are going to cut into each other. See, here's the opposite. Here's the opposite of the situation that just happened in February. In February, you had Dying Light 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and Elden Ring released within 3 weeks of each other. Well, maybe 4 weeks, but roughly 3 weeks of each other. And when they did that, they literally all cut into each other and hurt each other's sales. Elden Ring coming up the giant winner, right? But the other 2 games are effectively dead in the water. Do you think there's any crossover between Mario Strikers and The Quarry, this choose-your-own-adventure horror game? Of course not. That doesn't matter. That's okay to have the same release date. It's not going to affect each other, you see? So, yeah, I'm excited. And I hope you guys are too. That's good news for all of us horror movie buffs and horror game buffs and people who like this kind of style of stuff. I'm excited for that, and that makes me feel pretty good about another cool new release that's going to happen this year. For me, the more horror games, the better. I wish there were more horror games. I don't know what happened, because at one point there was a lot of horror games, and then it seems like what happened is there became this this very bad pattern that every horror game had to be first person, had to be walking around looking for notes, clues, and narrative, and essentially cut out most of the gameplay of those games. Instead, they just became kind of like jump scares, and in some cases a little bit of psychological horror, but it was always first person, wandering around. A lot of them were PC exclusives. It basically just became this fad. And when that happened, all the more traditional style horror games kind of vanished, you know? Yes, we still have some holdouts, but even games like Resident Evil, the last couple outings have fallen into this kind of trope of first person survival, you know? So it's sad that there aren't as many horror games as there used to be, right? The Evil Within series. Man, it's sad that one's gone now, but now we're going to have Ghostwire Tokyo, which maybe will be a reinvigoration. I don't know. We're going to find out, okay? So anyway, this is exciting news, and I hope you all are pumped to see me eventually play it come June, because I'm definitely playing it, okay? All right. That's the PreStream podcast for today. Let's do some shout-outs. Let's see if you guys got any questions you want answered, all right? We start off today on the YouTube side of things. We've got MC2 Tech Reviews, who has re-upped their membership. Thank you very much, MC2 Tech Reviews, for renewing your ongoing support of the channel. I appreciate that. And then we had Parasolo, who did a super chat this morning. Thank you, Parasolo. Let's get you up on the leaderboard here. Shit. Thank you, thank you. Okay. That's it. I don't have anything else to shout out. So what I will do at this point, I will open up the PreStream to Q&A. You guys, if you have any questions, please throw them my way. We'll do a little bit of Q&A here, and when we find the logical stopping point, we will. All right? So what do you guys want to talk about this morning? Let's see if anyone, you tag me in the chat, and let's see. By the way, I should mention this. Elden Ring had a major update today. It's the first major update since the game released about 3 weeks ago. Some of the additions and improvements. Number one, NPCs are now tagged on the map. So once you meet an NPC, okay, and you talk to them and then you initiate that initial contact with them, now when you go to your world map, it will show you where they are. So if they move around for a quest, you'll find them on the map. It won't be like, oh, I just stumble upon them randomly by fast traveling to this point that I never would have went to again because I've already beaten it. Now it'll tell you where they are. So, oh, an NPC moved over here? Well, I should go check that out. Maybe the quest is continuing. You know, basic quality of life shit that FromSoft could have added many games ago, but it took them this long to fucking figure it out, okay? They also fixed some of the bugs. I guess there were some bugs in the NPC quest lines where they would just kind of fall flat on their face or be broken or whatever. So they fixed that stuff. They also rebalanced a lot of the game. It was funny because just either yesterday or the stream before that, I was playing and I unlocked this ability. I guess it was called the Hoarfrost Stomp. Now, I'm not using any of the Ashes of War. I'm not. I'm using all the abilities that are imbued in my special weapons already, and those abilities, in my opinion, are quite good, and that's what I've been going with in the playthrough. But a lot of people are doing the Ashes of War, which are special abilities that you find via exploration, optional boss fights, etc. And basically, you can put those on the weapons and use them in combat. Well, there was a couple of these that were overpowered. One of them was called the Hoarfrost Stomp, and I don't know why it was overpowered because I just got it and I never used it. But they already nerfed it, so it's already been nerfed so that it's not crazy overpowered anymore. I guess people were discovering these unintentional builds for PvP that were very broken, and people were trying to play PvP and couldn't do anything. Like you go in, immediately you get killed. There's nothing you can do about it. Like unstoppable builds. So I guess they changed some of that too. I don't know. I have not done any PvP in this game, so I wouldn't really understand any changes that they did to PvP, you know. But if there was unbalanced, overpowered, broken stuff, I guess I'm glad that they're rebalancing it now. I believe they've also added in a whole new NPC to the game as well. So here's the thing. I'm kind of excited about this because this may be a sign that since Elden Ring sold so well, 12 million copies in its first 2 weeks, unprecedented for this style of game, and actually sales numbers that rival games like fucking Call of Duty, okay? So because the game sold so well, perhaps, From Software will actually actively improve their game over time. rather than kind of ignore it. And what I mean by that is, infamously, From Software is known to put out their game and then not really do much to improve or fix it. They just kind of leave it as is. Well, just enjoy it for the wonkiness that it is, right? But in this case, it seems like they may actually actively improve the game. They may actually say, okay, this is broken, this is overpowered, this maybe is underpowered, this was not working properly. Let's add some quality of life stuff, like actually showing where people are on the fucking map. You know, common sense stuff. You know, that's neat. That's good. Maybe they'll actually over time make the game better and better. You know, and again, this has not been happened before, so that's good news, and I'm happy to hear that they're actually working on this. Okay, I'm being told by My Ruin you can nearly stun lock enemies with the Hoarfrost Stomp, so you could literally stomp, now they're stuck, and then just stomp again. You just keep doing it until they die. That's kind of broken. Okay. All right, now, does anyone, here we go. Now I will open up the Q&A, because people were asking questions and I ignored them to talk about that. All right, guys, please tag me in the chat. Let's see what you guys have to talk about today. All right? No, I did not forget the Dark Souls 2 nerfs, but that was a situation where, first of all, the Dark Souls 2 nerfs didn't even happen until, like, months after the fact. If you remember, I beat Dark Souls 2 with my Dick Lightning build, and it wasn't until I came back to the game later for DLC content that it was nerfed. And I was like, damn, and that was many months later. You see? This is a case where they've responded within just a couple of weeks. Slidman says, did you ever figure out why the Steve guy from Ubisoft claimed your Splinter Cell playthrough? Yeah, he didn't. There wasn't one from Ubisoft who claimed it. It was a lie. Back then, way back then, okay, we're talking 2009. Yeah, way back then. Basically, YouTube was a different place. YouTube was the Wild West of content creation and uploading. Back then, you couldn't even monetize gameplay footage. It was impossible. All right, you couldn't. If you tried to put an ad on it, YouTube would reject it and say, no, not valid for advertisements, okay? So, that being said, all right, basically, people get fooled. Well, excuse me, YouTube used to get fooled by all kinds of stuff. They just didn't have any kind of proper vetting system. YouTube has always been a business that relies on user-reported content. I know that sounds stupid because it is. How can you have a business that relies on the customer base and their complaints to improve? That would be like saying, I opened a sandwich shop, but I never checked the quality of the ingredients. I never checked to see if the food was fresh. I never checked to see if people were bored or stagnated with what we offer. I literally just every day just come to work and pump out the same exact sandwiches for you no matter what. And it's not until we get a bunch of complaints from customers. This tastes bad. The food is stale or spoiled. We're tired of the same sandwich offerings. Make new ones. It's not until you get the complaints that now you improve the business. Like, what kind of a business is that? That's called lazy shit. And that's how YouTube has operated always, is that they wait for someone to complain about something to fix it. All right? So, in regards to false copyrights, back in the day, people used to abuse this shit all the time. All they would do is take a cursory glance at information on the internet. Oh, Ubisoft. Well, here's an email that's a spoof of an Ubisoft email. It's not necessarily the real one, but we make a spoof so it looks like I'm emailing from Ubisoft. Let me research and find someone who really works for the company and has maybe an online profile. I'll pretend that I'm them, and I'll claim in this claim against someone that I have the right to try to take down their content, okay? So they would completely lie and impersonate someone else, and YouTube is so fucking stupid, they would do no research, no confirmation, they would literally just blanket grant the claims. That's how bad YouTube was back in the day. And it became really bad for rampant abuse. There were like ridiculous amounts of false claims on a daily basis because people realized they could abuse the system because YouTube was a bunch of fucking lazy idiots who didn't vet anything, okay? In this case, in 2009, I received a bunch of false copyright claims. First of all, it was actually late 2008. I supposedly got claims from Rockstar Entertainment when I started playing the GTA 4 expansion, The Lost and Damned. Now, all they said was Rockstar is taking these down. It didn't give any examples of what I had done to violate copyright policy. It just took the videos down. And at that point, I said, well, fuck it. I guess I can't chance doing this anymore, even though I completely disagreed with it. But then when I was playing Splinter Cell the next year, I was a little bit more skeptical about it. Because when I'm getting claims saying that Ubisoft took down your videos, that's what it said. It said Ubisoft claimed and took down your videos. Okay, well, did they? So I actually contacted Ubisoft. I wrote to them on social media and I said, hey, I am, you know, a content creator, a popular YouTube gamer, and I was playing your game and I got these takedown notices, copyright notices. Did you actually do this? To which Ubisoft looked into it and responded and said, no, that's not us. So then they personally went behind the scenes and contacted YouTube and said, you're misrepresenting us. Legally, we didn't do this. You can't say that we're taking down people's content when we didn't. You got to check and make sure that what you're saying is true. So they checked and come to find out, yeah, it wasn't Ubisoft. It was some guy. He had submitted a fraudulent claim. He said his name was Steve Jones, but that he worked for Ubisoft and that, you know, they were trying to take down my videos. And it was all bullshit. It was completely fabricated. Now, eventually I got those copyright issues resolved, but I decided during that time period that I wanted to diversify my content. At that time, I wasn't pleased with the fact that on a moment's notice, my entire YouTube channel, Dark Side Phil, because this was my original channel, could get taken down for nothing. So I said, let's diversify. Let's do DSP Gaming, and this channel will be for Let's Play stuff moving forward. Then I decided to basically kind of change stuff up. That was the era of Street Fighter 4 and everything. And so eventually I branched out my content. I had a fighting game channel just for fighting games. I had my Let's Play channel just for Let's Plays. Then I had other channels for other projects and things like that. Okay. Essentially at that point, even though I got Darkside Phil back, I decided to just make it an archive of my early work on YouTube. And I just left it as is. Most people don't remember the original videos of Darkside Phil. They've kind of fallen into oblivion because it's its own entity. That was really early work of mine before I even had like a widescreen camera and stuff like that. Most people remember the modern, well, it's not even really the modern era, but the era of DSP Gaming, where in 2010 I made the DSP Gaming channel, and since then I heavily just uploaded to DSP Gaming, and that was my main focus, okay? So, no, there was no real Steve Jones, there was no real Ubisoft, it was just a troll. The good news is, in the modern era, YouTube does not just blanket believe claims anymore, especially if it's a channel that infamously has had abuse against it. It's basically like a red flag. When a copyright claim comes in, they vet it. And I have not had issues with any copyright stuff on YouTube in many, many years. It just hasn't been an issue because they vet my stuff and they realize they're all fake. No game company is going to strike me down. The last one that actually did was Atlas. And that happened, what, 2017? When I was playing Persona 5, and they did give me real strikes against my content, literally for no reason, because I was following the criteria that Atlas had laid out on the internet and said, if you're going to do a Let's Play of Persona 5, follow these criteria. I did, and they still gave me copyright strikes. I eventually got them cleared up, but after that, I've just been so skeptical of ever playing anything from Atlas because it sounds like the Japanese branch of Atlas doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and at any time will just claim videos for no good fucking reason, even if there's no personal benefit to them. They're just stupid. I don't know what else to say. And when you prove that you're stupid, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to risk my livelihood or risk, you know, making content about your games and then you fucking ruin my business, right? So I'm not digging around with that stuff. But anyway, that's it. I haven't had an issue since then. There's been no copyright issues, and that's great. You know, that's a really good feeling that at least here, okay, at least here, I feel like I'm not walking on eggshells. I can be myself. I can chill. I can relax. I can hang with you guys and have a good time. I don't have to worry about something that I say or do will be misconstrued as something that's not what it is, and I'm going to get taken down for community violations and, you know, oh my God, you violated the partner program and you violated this and you violated that, and false copyright strikes against you and shit. That shit was happening all the time on Twitch. Twitch, essentially, it's so funny how things change over time. At one point, I felt YouTube was the worst, the pits. I felt that YouTube just basically didn't care about anything. They had grown too big for their own good, and they had no protections for content creators. They didn't vet anything. This was basically like a cesspool. It really was. And so I went to Twitch feeling better about Twitch. And then over the years that I full-time streamed on Twitch, they just went down and down and down. I was getting false strikes against my streams, taking down my channel repeatedly. I would then counterclaim and be like, this is bullshit, it's not real. Twitch was doing the same thing YouTube used to do. They would not vet any claims. If they got a claim, they would just blanket grant it because they felt legally that protected their ass instead of actually, you know, not being a bunch of lazy fucks and actually doing some research like a real responsible business should. You know, anyone who's responsible and feels morally or ethically bound to make sure that when they punish someone, they're punishing them for the real reason or the right reason and not because they're lazy fucks. You know, I don't know what else to say. Twitch literally became old YouTube. It's not like the history wasn't there to show how that's bad and that you need to improve. They literally just went right down the same path as old school YouTube and fucked over their business. But anyway, the good news is I don't have issues with this stuff anymore. At least, you know, recently, knock on wood, YouTube vets all the shit, and I'm sure that there's bullshit that happens all the time, and I don't get affected by it, and that's a good thing. So, yeah, there hasn't been any issues with copyright in a very long time. Okay. All right. What's next? Any more? Oh, wait. Did we get some super chats? I think we did. The Orange Ninja Turtle did a super chat and says, what's your opinion on Angry Joe's quality creator or washed up? Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched Angry Joe. I couldn't even tell you. I'm not kidding, and this is not an exaggeration. I have never seen an Angry Joe review from start to finish. I've seen clips or snippets. I've watched little brief excerpts. I've never watched a full review of Angry Joe's. I hear very positive things about his content, that he's one of the best guys out there that makes these highly edited skit-style reviews, that he puts tons of production value into it. Good for him, and I know he's successful. He's millions of views on his videos, right? Makes a living doing it. That's the most I know about it. I know nothing about him. I've never spoken to the guy. I've never watched a piece of his content, so I couldn't speak to that. Friendly Chatter did a super chat. Says, with what happened last night, how do you plan to move forward now? Are we going to get any more outbursts like that, or did you get it off your chest? First of all, what I look at people, or he phrases it like this. What happened last night? What happened last night exactly? Nothing. Literally nothing. Nothing happened. People who phrase it like that or qualify it like that, it already means you're someone, all right, who is opting to create drama where drama does not exist because you're a fucking drama queen idiot, okay? Last night I was playing Skyrim, and Only Iced Coffee, who has almost never frequents my streams these days anymore, every once in a while, once in a blue moon, he shows up and he renews his membership, says a few words, and leaves, okay? He came on the stream last night, and immediately people started shit with him, like doing drama stuff, you know, harassing him about this and that and all that. And I said to him publicly on the stream, I said, Only Iced Coffee, how about this? All right, let's vet something out, since this is something that people talk about all the time. Did you ever talk to detractors or appear on a podcast with detractors or do any of that? Was that you or not? I don't know. I don't pay attention to any of that shit. I don't watch it. I have nothing to do with it. He responds, well, yeah, I've done that before. To which I was just like, you know what? All right, let's be honest with the world. And I vetted my frustrations. I was like, you gotta understand something. It doesn't matter if you're the biggest supporter or the biggest detractor. When you involve yourself in that community, for whatever reason that you're doing it, you are literally creating the problem or more problems for everyone around you. The moment that you step into that toxic toilet, that cesspool, all right, and you involve yourself in that drama shit, you just make it worse for everybody, including me, of course. It's my business, and I'm the one here who's just trying to stream, and I'm the one who's just trying to have a good time with my audience. I'm just trying to entertain you guys with games, have a good interactive time, right? That's what this is all about. That's why I do what I do, because people tell me it has intrinsic value, that's meaningful to them. They absolutely love the chill atmosphere of my streams. They like my honest reactions. They like that after 13 years, I'm still an honest guy. I never sold out, and that I'm very different from a lot of the other content creators out there who try to do this for a living. I've completely gone a different direction than most. And, of course, that's one of the reasons why I'm in the situation I am financially, but at the same time, there's a feeling of respect and a feeling of loyalty and a feeling of like, okay, thank you, Phil, for being you. You know what I mean? That's what I focus on. You understand? I don't care about anything else going on the white noise of the internet, the bullshit around me. Every day, there's people who name drop me, who insult me, who bring me up in some kind of a shitty, dramatic, negative light, whether it's on the illegal restreams, whether it's an edited piece of garbage content on YouTube that's meant to run my name through the mud, whether it's another content creator who just has a slow fucking day today and wants to get a rise out of their audience, whoever it may be. The last thing I need or care about is to be hearing about that shit. And of course, especially from those who've been supporters, who've been moderators, who've been helpful people to me over the years, the last thing I need is more shit. Because someone cannot control themselves. Oh, I want to be in the spotlight today. I want to be dramatic today. I want to fucking talk to detractors. And obviously, this is going to create tons of drama for DSP and his community, but I don't care. Well, I care. And so I stepped up last night and I said, it's this simple. Fucking stop it. Stop with the bullshit. I don't want to hear about it ever again. And if I see it, and if anyone brings it up or mentions it and derails my streams because of it, you're gone for good. I don't care if you're a newcomer that I've never heard of, and I don't care if you're someone who's watched my content for 13 years. If your purpose is to derail my shit, you're gone. We don't need that toxic influence. I don't care if you were at one point a humongous supporter of my content. The moment that you fucking step into that toilet community, you have hurt everyone around here. Really. And I think what it is sadly, these people get so wrapped up. It's not just OIC, it's so many other people. They get wrapped up in this stupidity of the toxic drama content of the internet. And they think that somehow there's value in it. You know, listen, admittedly, sometimes I want to do some research. Sometimes I want to find out, gee, what happened to that content creator that I used to watch 100 years ago? And you watch a documentary or you watch a historical video that covers the ups and downs of what happened to them over the years and stuff like that. You know, I feel like maybe there is some value in shit like that. But the extent that these people go to literally on a daily basis try to stir up nonsense, right? So last night, I basically, for about 10 minutes talk about it. I vent about it. I'm like, I've had enough. I'm about to be 40 years old. I have no place in my life for this anymore. There's just no exceptions anymore. If I hear about it, if you're involved in it, you're gone. I can't have that bring myself down, my business down. My viewers right now, tuning in to watch me play Elden Ring, right? The vast majority, right, of people watching Elden Ring. Do you think they want to have someone come on the stream and go, hey, what's up with OIC? Hey, what happened last night on your stream with OIC? And then no one cares. No one fucking cares, including me. No one cares. We are logical people with brains that think normally. We don't not have nonsense on our minds constantly. We're not a bunch of 12-year-olds who are fucking gossiping about shit in the schoolroom. You know what I'm saying? So, I just don't care about this shit anymore. I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to be bothering with it anymore. And if I do see it, it'll be dealt with appropriately, like I said. Whether it's a ban or a timeout, and get the fuck out. And I'm not concerning with myself with this shit anymore. Okay? So, that's all that happened last night. And then OIC just disappeared. Didn't say a word. Just gone. Okay. Maybe he actually said, okay, fuck it. I can't control myself. And he left. I don't know. I can't make the guy do anything. You know, yeah, I would hope he'll come back and enjoy the content for what it is and get out of the toxic drama. I would hope that. But I can't make that happen, right? Just like I can't make all of you not go into the insanely toxic community out there. If you just sit here and watch my streams and my content, you won't be affected by it at all. You won't. People who just sit here and only watch my stuff, okay, you know, oh, Only Ice Coffee is here, and he says, would you accept a public apology from me on stream? Yes, I would. Absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would accept one. Because personally, here's the thing, too. I don't think that the people who get wrapped up in this stuff are intentionally trying to hurt anyone. I don't believe that. I think what happens is that there's a thing that happens on the internet, this unique thing that happens on the internet, where people get wrapped up in this shit, and then before they realize it, it has ballooned out of control. Okay? I personally have been a part of that too, where you didn't realize that being involved in something or speaking about something in a certain manner or speaking with certain people, we're going to balloon into some kind of bullshit. And that's happened to me personally. If you haven't noticed, I usually don't involve myself with almost anyone else. There's no interviews of Darkside Phil. Very rarely is there one. You know, I am kind of to myself here. I feel like just being here in my streams, providing content that's entertaining to you guys and meaningful on a daily basis is enough that I don't need to branch out. And now the moment that I'm on someone's podcast or I'm on someone's show or in an interview, somehow it becomes drama, not only for me and my community, but other communities. You know what I'm saying? I purposely set myself away from all of that shit so that way it doesn't happen. But I think that people get wrapped up in the internet and it's like, oh, well, I was a prominent person involved with DSP's content. Allow me to now get the spotlight by being in doing this or doing that. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily think there's malicious intentions there. You know what I'm saying? But at the very same time, I do feel like people need to be aware of what's going on. That it's hurtful. It is. And the moment you get yourself wrapped up in that shit, right? You go to kiwifarms.com or net or wherever the fuck it is, and you read their complete horseshit, the madness of people who don't even think logically, spouting ridiculous rants, conspiracy theories, and nonsense that's very, very hurtful to the people on that site, because it's not just me. There's tons of people on that site that have been very hurt by the shit that's been put up there, right? The moment you go on a detractor podcast or you talk to someone on a Discord and now it's recorded and it's put on drama. No one with a fucking intelligent, logical brain cares. Really. I don't care about it. And the thing is, the sad fact is, if you involve yourself with that shit, now I have to not care about you. And that's the truth. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like, listen, bye, goodbye. I don't want to do that. But I have to do that with people who are constantly involving themselves in shit that's now getting toxic for me and my community. You understand that? So I hope that we can clear the air and people will understand. That's what I was trying to get over last night, is that I can't involve myself with this shit anymore. I'm putting my foot down. If I even simply see bullshit like that on my stream, it's over. Just don't come back. The moment you involve yourself with that shit, no one here wants to be wrapped up in this shit. No one. I have so many people who contact me behind the scenes, longtime fans of yours. They're like, dude, again, these people are fucking trying to drag you through the mud. Again, you got to be involved in drama because someone had to fucking keep their fucking mouth shut about dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Only Iced Coffee says, first and foremost, sorry for hurting you, your business, and your fans with my actions. I did not understand the gravity of my actions, and I'm trying to clear the air. Okay. By the way, in the meantime, 672 did a $6.72 tip, which is the first tip of the day. He says, can you play the song Lean On Me? Every time that you lean in, man, you will ban. I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure exactly that's the intention of the song. I'm just saying, it might be a little bit different from what the actual intention of the song is. 672, right? But thank you for the tip. That's the first tip of the day. Very nice. Okay. Let's get that up there. Cool. See, now Vulcan just says, you know, sometimes I like a bit of nonsense drama. It's fun to watch from the sidelines. But you see, that's the point that I think that's actually the point I'd like to make here. From the sidelines. But when these people involve themselves in that drama, it's not just people on the sidelines. It's people in the line of fire that have to get involved. I don't want to be involved. I have nothing to do with it. Really, I have nothing to fucking do with any of it. I'm just here to put out a fun gameplay stream. You see? A fun gameplay stream. That's it. That's my end-all, be-all of being on the internet. How the fuck did it become all this nonsensical, toxic drama shit that I'm not even involved in? These people created their own toxic communities around something positive. And I've had enough. I'm just not putting up with it anymore. The moment I see it, it's gone. There's no tolerance for it anymore. Okay. Alright, so Only Iced Coffee says, I know my presence here on the stream can get people riled up, so I won't be typing much much now. I don't mean to derail. Fair enough. The thing is, Only Iced Coffee, literally, you've never done anything to warrant getting yourself banned from a stream, right? publicly, when it comes to things in my content and whatever, you've always been a good influence, a positive influence. You've obviously been a huge supporter of my content over the years, financially, but also you were a mod for a while. Like, you helped out significantly, right? And I really, really appreciate that. And what I mean, but don't fuck it up, right? Just don't fuck it up, man. Why would you want to ruin that? Why would you want to fucking be dramatic and be stupid and insult me and other fans of my content and shit? Why would you even do that? Like, what purpose does that do for anyone, right? Nothing. It's just more nonsense that no one needs in their lives, you know? So let's just cut that shit out. Okay. All right, good. What's up, Martin? Good to see you. He says, hello, how's it going? It's going good. Thank you, Martin. I'm excited for more Elden Ring today, for sure. Guts, what's going on? Happy Thursday to you. How you doing? Okay. King Gogan, see, here's the thing. King Gogan just says this. He says, if DSP knew half the stuff going on in, in this conversation. Oh, wait. If DSP knew half the stuff going on, this conversation could be very different. And that's all I'm going to say about it. You're right. You're actually right. And the thing is, I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. It's fucking bullshit. All of it is bullshit. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Really, do you understand what I'm saying now? It's all bullshit. None of it has anything to do with this stream. None of it. 0% of it has anything to do with me. So why do I want to know about it? Right? I've had enough. I've fucking had enough. Right? Jack G to the Super Chat says, all hail Radon, who I doubt we're even getting to today. Everyone is dying to see me fight this guy. I seriously don't know anything about this boss. Besides, I know it's a boss that everyone wants to see me fight, and apparently everyone has a hard time with him, because simply everyone wants to see me fight him means that everyone's having a hard time with him and everyone wants to see me die, obviously. But I don't know about him. I'm just going to naturally progress through Caelid today and explore. If we run into him, great, I guess. If not, whatever, we're going to get to him eventually. It's coming, right? One way or another, we're going to get to this fucker. Actually, it was funny. So last night, Kat and I, again, we were relaxing and we were watching someone play Elden Ring, and they were actually doing the Academy. And in the Academy is actually when you start reading some of the lore of some of these guys. You learn some more about Radon. You learn about Radagon. And we're reading this like Radon and Radagon, and these names are all sound exactly the same. They couldn't fucking even use different consonants to make the names of the characters so that they weren't confusing. I was like, so there's Radon, there's Radagon, and then there's Rashan, okay? And the thing is, one of them is the Elden Lord, one of them is a general, a powerful general in the Elden armies, and one of them is the janitor, all right? So you're working hard, and you're getting your final, I'm finally going to fight him. Radon, is it Radon, Radagon, or Rashan? I don't know. Oh, I made it. I finally made it to the fucking headquarters of Rashan, and you open the door, and it's a janitor's closet. You're like, fuck, I went to the wrong place. Shit, I thought this was the general's office. They couldn't use better names? Seriously. Why the fuck why couldn't they just differentiate the characters so you don't get confused, right? Anyway. Exactly. There's Godric, there's Godfrey, there's Godwin, there's Gutex? I don't know. All the names sound the same. How could you not get confused? Why would they do that? Yeah. Anyway. Ronnie and Renala, says Darziak. Ronnie, Renala. Is there another one too? There's like 4 R names for women too that are all prominent women. Gilbert Godfrey. There's Godric, Godfrey, Godwin, and Gilbert Godfrey. Now that's very confusing. Zoya did a super chat, says, do I regret not putting my foot down sooner in regards to Only Eyes Coffee? First of all, I don't even feel like I'm putting my foot down. I'm literally just stating logical things that a sane person would say. Like, why the fuck is there drama existing, and why does it have to do with me, and why are you bothering me with it? And why should I tolerate it? Right? Like, this is what a logical person would say. Anyone, and I mean this, and this is what people don't do. they don't take a step back and look at the situation from another perspective. They're just so deep in the shit. They're so deep in the drama and the trenches of the shit that they don't look from the outside. From the outside perspective, looking at the shit that is around me on the internet, people look like, what the fuck? And I can tell you that right now because in the last few years, there's been quite a few people from an outside perspective who don't know about me as a content creator, who don't know about my history, who don't know about the insane amount of losers on the internet who obsess about me. And they look at it, they're like, I cannot believe this is real. This is fake, right? Like, this is a deep fake. Like, this is one of those, you're punking me, you're pranking me. This isn't a real situation. I'm like, no, this is my life. These people are that nuts, and they won't release the stranglehold on me that they have. They literally on a daily basis, like vultures or crows, are circling around the positivity of my stream, literally just shitting around it in a circle. Like, this is what they do for a living, most of them. They just sit around wasting their fucking lives with this nonsense, and then every once in a while, you know, someone else gets pulled into that circle, and it just gets worse and worse, and literally it doesn't affect me. You know, I don't pay attention to it. But then, oh, well, did you hear the new drama? Did you hear the Dark Side Filled drama? And the next thing you know, everyone else on the internet is like, oh, I don't want to ever talk about Dark Side Filled or associate with Dark Side Filled because he's just drama. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Did you come to my stream? Where's the drama? There is none. I'm about to play Elden Ring for 3 hours. There won't be any drama. It'll be fun gameplay and me getting my ass beat and us having fun with it. Where's the drama? There is none. The problem is the thing that's been created outside of me is the drama, and I can't control that because I didn't create it, nor can I stop it. Maybe if I was a multimillionaire, okay? Maybe if I was a multimillionaire, and if I could sue the shit out of all these idiots, that would shut it down. But I'm not a multimillionaire. You know, maybe I got to win the lotto. Maybe I got to win the lotto, and then I could hire a very expensive attorney, and the attorney can slap all these idiots with fucking lawsuits for the years of lying and defamation and shit against me for illegally using my content without fair use protections, instead actually just ripping and commenting on it, which is not allowed, you know, shutting them down. But the thing is, I can't. I'm not rich. I'm just some little guy. Because of the way that I've been a content creator, the style that I've chosen, not to sell out, to stay true to myself and my values and everything that I've done over these years. That's one of the reasons why I'm still here. But at the very same time, that's one of the reasons why I'm as small as I am. And I don't have the ability to do this kind of shit. And these toxic idiots have been able to thrive. The YouTube algorithm has pushed the toxicity to the forefront while my content gets shoved under the rug, even though my content is the actual positive content. No one sees that. All they see is the toxic drama. So when you ask an outsider, oh, do you ever hear about Dark Side Phil? They say, oh, that toxic guy that's with this drama and this shit and that. No, what are you talking about? Did you ever even watch a stream? That has nothing to do with me. I'm not even involved in it. It's all these morons around me. And that's what I mean. When you got someone like Only Ice Coffee or anyone else who's been a part of this community and then they choose to involve themselves actively in that shit, all it does is hurt everyone around you. It does. It hurts you. It hurts me. It hurts this community. It hurts everyone. Just be wise. Stop the bullshit. Just, the day that we just turn all that shit off, right? It's done. Just don't pay attention to it anymore. Everyone who's here to be positive and fun, we don't have to pay any attention to what those idiots do. We really don't. Let them have their insane fringe communities that have nothing to do with us. All right. Martin says, Radon is a general who everyone wants to see you fight. He's a demigod and offspring of Queen Marika. Radagon is the husband of Queen Marika. So is Radon the son of Radagon? Then where does Rashawn the janitor come in? Ugly Tuna Roll tipped me $2 and says, hey, I'm catching up with your Elden Ring playthrough, which is great. I notice people complaining about you being overpowered, but who gives a shit? If the game allows it, why not? They can play it on their own. Yeah, the thing is, I'm not overpowered. I'm overpowered for the first area. I'm overpowered, arguably, for the second area. I'm not overpowered for Caelid. Did you watch yesterday's stream? I'm not dealing excessive damage to anything in Caelid, and everything in Caelid is two-shotting me, effectively. So I'm pretty much at starting level for Caelid, and now I need to build myself up with more vigor, and eventually then with faith to basically be able to take on everything here in Caelid. You know, so we'll see what happens today. But like I said, it's going to be more exploration for sure. Trying to discover as much as I can. And if we fight to the boss, we do. If we don't, we don't. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Okay? Okay. I think that's enough of that baloney. Let's end the pre-stream, my friends. All right, and let's get started with the festivities. All right, guys, thank you very much for a great pre-stream podcast.